was supposed to go to a dance today, but then it snowed, and so that's not happening. So recently some good friends of mine gave me a copy of John Green's The Fault in Our Stars, and it's wonderful, and it's gotten me thinking about books. You may not know this about me, but I love books. Anyway, I've put together a list of 3 different books that I feel like you should check out. I have a book for guys to read, I have a book for girls to read, and I have a book for anyone to read regardless of gender. Now when I say that I have a book for guys to read and a book for girls to read, I don't mean that I have a girl book for the girls to read and a guy book for the guys to read. I mean that I have books to recommend that I feel like are more targeted toward a certain gender audience, but I'm actually recommending them for the opposite gender audience. So I'm going to tell you about the book, the author, and a meaningful quote from the book that I think represents what the book is about. Let's get started! So first off is the book that I'd like to recommend to guys, which is The Color Purple. So The Color Purple is about 2 poor African-American sisters growing up in the rural South. The fact of the matter is, it's the kind of story you can relate to whether you're a man or a woman. It's about sadness and humanity and pain and everything. Alice Walker didn't win a Pulitzer Prize for it for nothing. Our key quote from The Color Purple is, "I think I was here to wonder myself. To wonder, to ask. And that in wondering about the big things and asking about the big things, you learn about the little ones, almost by accident. But you never know nothing more about the big things than you start out with. The more I wonder," he says, "the more I love." Next book is the one I'd like to recommend to all the ladies out there. And that book is Fight Club. Fight Club actually was a book before becoming the movie with Edward Norton and Brad Pitt. It's a pretty darn good film, but it's also a fantastic book. Fight Club was written by Chuck Palahniuk. Fight Club is about giving up on society. It's about the primal nature of humanity. It's a very dark satire, more than anything else. My father always said, "Get married before the sex gets boring or you'll never get married." My mother always said, "Never buy anything with a nylon zipper." My parents never said anything you'd want to embroider on a cushion. And finally is a book that I would like to recommend to anyone who reads at all. And that is a book called The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. The Art of Racing in the Rain is basically the story of a young race car driver named Denny. Really, the main plot of the book is not in the story itself, it's in the narrator. Because the book is told by Denny's dog, Enzo. Enzo is an intelligent, thoughtful creature who just wants to be able to help his master and wants to be able to talk to him. And basically the biggest point of the book is that Enzo hopes and knows that when he dies he's going to be reincarnated as a man. I don't know how else to explain it, it's just a really powerful piece of literature. To live every day as if it had been stolen from death, that is how I would like to live. To feel the joy of life as Eve felt the joy of life. To separate oneself from the burden, the angst, the anguish that we all encounter every day. To say, "I am alive, I am wonderful, I am, that is something to aspire to." In Mongolia, when a dog dies, he is buried high in the hills so people cannot walk on his grave. The dog's master whispers in the dog's ear his wishes that the dog will return as a man in his next life. His tail is cut off and put beneath his head, and a piece of meat is cut off and placed in his mouth to sustain his soul for its journey. Before he is reincarnated, the dog's soul is freed to travel the land, to run across the high desert plains for as long as it would like. I learned that from a program on the National Geographic Channel, so I believe it is true. Not all dogs return as men, they say. Only those who are ready. I am ready. I really hope you enjoyed, and Daniel, I will see you on Thursday.